Montclair Place, or Montclair Plaza, or Montclair Mall, is a shopping mall in Montclair, California that opened in 1968. Were you a kid, teenager, adult, parent, or grandparent living in Southern California and would frequent those malls in your area? Were you a mall rat like me, where you spent your formative years people watching, socializing, or shopping at those iconic malls? Let's take a stroll down memory lane and relive those moments of yesteryears. So let's take a deep dive into the history of that mall in your neighborhood. Please leave a comment or a memory of this mall and stay tuned until the end. I want to see if you were paying attention to my video. Thanks. In 1964, Montclair began work with land developers for the construction of Montclair Plaza. The mall opened on November 5, 1968 as a single-level indoor mall with 69 stores. The 600,000 square foot mall sat on 120 acres with enough parking spaces for 6,000 cars. Montclair would cost over $50 million to build. 3 department stores originally anchored Montclair Plaza: a 189,000 square foot JCPenney, on the east end a 142,000 square foot The Broadway, and a 150,000 square foot May Company at the west end. Other stores opening at the plaza's launch included Silverwoods and Mullen and Bluet. If you shopped at this mall in the 1970s, you might have gone to stores such as Great American Cookie Stand, A&W, Walden Books, The Show Off, the Hollander Restaurant, the Arcades, the Wild Pear, Bob's Big Boy, Raj of India, or maybe even El Poco. I remember going to this mall in the early 1980s and having my birthday celebration at the original Farrell's ice cream parlor outside of the mall. The mall was renovated and expanded with a second level that opened on October 30th, 1985. Sears was added to the mall that same year, which had relocated from the Indian Hill Mall. Check out my video if you want to know more about the Indian Hill Mall. Nordstrom's opened at the Montclair Plaza on May 2nd, 1986. During the mid-80s, I remember shopping at places like This and Up. In 1993, May Company was closed and then converted to a Robinson's May. In 1996, the Broadway closed and was reopened and renamed Macy's. In 2006, Robinson's May closed after Macy's and Robinson's May chains had merged. Macy's relocated to the Robinson's May space. The mall's popularity continually drew commerce east, away from the city of Pomona. When Victoria Gardens, an open-air mall, city center, and public library opened further east in Rancho Cucamonga, Montclair Plaza's own popularity declined, resulting in a remodel work in 2008. In February of 2014, CIM Group acquired the mall for $170 million. Very little had been done to the plaza until recently when the interior was renovated. The mall saw a shift in consumer shopping in the last decade with the arrival of outdoor shopping centers in Rancho Cucamonga and in Chino Hills. Montclair Plaza's ownership had changed hands twice in the previous years. CIM Group became the third owner of the mall since 2010 and the fifth since its inception. In November of 2015, the mall was renamed Montclair Place, and renovations were announced. On March 1st, 2018, AMC Theaters announced that it would replace the old Broadway building with a new 55,000 square foot dine-in movie theater, the city's first indoor theater in nearly 20 years. Multiple new stores were added, including Forever 21 and Spectrum. The Canyon, a 17,500 square foot music and entertainment venue, and Kids Empire, an 11,000 square foot indoor playground, were added. A Lazy Dog restaurant was added in December of 2019 in the former Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. A Win Wings restaurant opened next to the Panda Express restaurant. And on July 3rd, 2019, a bowling and arcade amusement chain called Round One Entertainment announced it would open a location. On November 7th, 2019, it was announced that Sears would be closing its location in the mall as part of a plan to close 96 stores nationwide. The store closed in February of 2020. I recently took a trip to this mall to check out the closed Sears store. As you can see, they haven't done anything with it in the last 2 years. On May 11, 2020, during the COVID-19 pandemic, it was announced that Nordstrom's would be closing its location in the mall, leaving Macy's and JCPenney as the mall's only traditional anchors. If you were to stop by the mall today, the mall seems pretty empty. Many people would consider it to be a dead mall. There are a lot of choices for entertainment and shopping with Plaza West and West Covina, Ontario Mills, Victoria Gardens, Puente Hills Mall, as well as Brea Mall. In 2023, I decided to make it my project to visit all of the still existing malls in Southern California. Today, I stopped into the Montclair Plaza, or Mall, or Place as they call it now. Due to time constraints and financial reasons, basically just life in general, I had stopped going to the malls years ago. Part of the allure of the mall was just walking through these huge places that had tons of cool shops. As I got older, I stopped going. Now that I'm starting a new chapter in my life, kids gotten older and are in college now, and other personal changes, I'm able to venture out again and take a walk down memory lane. Montclair Mall, as I knew it and called it, was a mall that I had been going to since the late 1970s. The footprint is the same, and it still reminds me of it when I went there in the 80s and 90s as well. I do remember going to This End Up furniture store with my parents, as well as the FYE about 10 years ago. And yes, there is an FYE at this mall still. I had gone to this mall on a Tuesday around 2 in the afternoon on a summer day, and if you look closely, the mall is pretty empty. Kinda sad actually. If for any other reason, I would come here just to stay out of the heat. There are still a few empty storefronts, including the major ones like the former Sears and the Nordstrom's. The Macy's upstairs mall entrance is actually a restaurant now, a big one by the looks of it. I kind of like the whole goth-like, Batman-esque feel of the mall. It does look modern. I myself is not a big mall shopper. In fact, I usually go to the mall and just walk to get exercise. I will occasionally stop to look into various shops, but for the most part, I just walk and window shop. I'm just soaking in all the old memories. Another thing that I remember was the Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor on the outskirts of the mall parking lot in the early 1980s. A lot has changed with the exterior of the mall too, as well as a new paint job. The signs and stores have changed, but if you're like me, you'll remember who occupied the buildings first. There's the old Sears, the JCPenney, the Macy's, the old Nordstrom, as well as the new signs that you can see off the freeway. Thank you for watching. If you like this content, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Thanks.